The museum buff for Genghis Khan is actually super legit, and it makes Khan viable once again. I won't go so far as to say that he's meta, but I will say the things he can get done are actually kind of surprising. So stick around in this video for the detailed test results you need for Genghis Khan Relic in the Season of Conquest. That's KVK Season 4 and beyond. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today's video is sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms. And when I learned that Khan was going to get a relic, this is a buff in the Season of Conquest that you can unlock using the relic currency you see on the screen and also a small amount of exhibit currency, which goes up after each exhibit that you unlock. The Khan buff here is pretty good. That's 10% cavalry defense and 100 active skill damage factor. Now, when I thought about who would actually be crazy enough to unlock this, I realized that in our kingdom, we have the #1 cav player in the game, and that's Saz at over 300 million power and an absurd amount of kill points. He is the most cav-focused player I know, and he runs 7 cavalry marches in the field. So when he learned that we could put the relic on the Khan, he was game to do it and also to do a bunch of testing. So in this video, I'm going to show you what those test results look like, and I think you will be surprised that Khan does have a role with some commander pairings. From there, I do want to talk also about what it is that Khan does. Like, do people remember what his kit is? And if you should now consider investing in Khan in the early game, because you can make him viable in the late game. So let's get started here with a quick refresher on what Khan does and why it is that I don't recommend him for most people. And if we look at the skills on Khan, which honestly, it's been so long and I maxed him ages ago, Khan does 1,700 damage factor, which is a very, very weak active skill. But he has a chance, 30%, to activate the active skill all over again when he uses his active skill. So there's a chance for a sort of double strike, if you will. Now, what most people don't understand about this double strike mechanic is that every time you use an active skill, there's a second of downtime. So the way that this ultimately works is that he'll use his active skill, then there's a second of downtime, and then I'm pretty sure he uses his active skill all over again. There's a second of downtime, and then the secondary uses their active skill, and then there's a second of downtime. Now, I keep saying this because this will influence the potential pairings with Khan, because you can't pair with another commander that's giving free active skills like Joan Prime. The reason is that you actually end up slowing yourself down. I explained that a lot on my live stream where we did this testing, but let's move on for now and we can revisit that topic later when we talk about pairings. The second skill is reducing the rage requirement by 100, also giving him a march speed bonus of 15%, but if you're attacked, you lose the bonus, and you lose 10% march speed, which is a bummer. That's a 25% march speed swing. It's honestly really bad. Now, on the topic of rage reduction, his active skill also has 50 less rage requirement. You'll notice that in red. So a part of what makes his active skill interesting is, okay, the damage factor is terrible, but the rage reduction is actually pretty cool. Now, from here, the next skill makes it so that when your troops are led by only cavalry, and you have over 70% of units, you deal 30% more damage. So cool at the start of the fight, but dies off quickly. And when you're less than 50% of troops, you have a 30% skill damage boost, and you get 25 rage per turn when you're attacked, which is a big deal. 25 rage when attacked is a lot of rage. So what all this means is that you want to pair with another commander that does a lot of skill damage, because you're going to be boosting your skill damage, and also gives you some defensive stats because he basically has none at all. This is why Khan is kind of like a staple in the early game if you can afford the sculptures into him, but falls off dramatically in Season of Conquest. He's a complete glass cannon, And these days, our glass cannons do more things. They do area of effect damage. They do huge debuffs. Khan offers nothing. He just offers damage. And damage is something that's replaceable by literally any other commander that can do moderate to high damage. So the question is, does the 100 extra damage factor along with the 10% defense actually make Khan viable with a single relic? That's what we wanted to test. So in order to test that, we paired Khan with Nevsky. Nevsky is hands down the best commander that you could possibly pair with Khan, I thought, because he's just so overpowered, and he's a cut above pretty much almost every other commander in the game. It's really weird how strong he is. So with that said, I used a bunch of meta combos to test. And let me show you the equipment that I used. I used nearly, in fact, this is actually my perfectly maxed infantry set, and I used Guan with Skippy. I also tested with Nevsky and Joan Prime. You'll note I'm missing crits and iconics on the accessories here. And then I used the full set with Boudica, with Esong. And you'll notice I actually had Horn and Ring in this combo as well. And I am missing the iconics and the crits on the accessories. Now I'm going to put very briefly on the screen the talents and also the equipment that Saz was using. And you'll notice he's got perfect equipment. I mean, it's the perfect cavalry equipment. And the last thing I'll mention is that we went in and we switched the formation from wedge to line so that it would save our presets of armaments, but sort of take them off for the fight. So armaments were not a part of the equation. For those of you wondering, why do you test with equipment and not with armaments? That is because equipment does dramatically change the outcome of the fight. And especially true, by the way, for the accessories. Ring, especially on a rage hero or commander like Khan, makes a huge difference. So that's why we're using the equipment, and we take off the armaments because it's hard to get them to match up. And until we get more armaments with special effects, like the legendary inscriptions, I don't think that's as much a factor. But let me show you these results, which were pretty shocking. We did our testing in an Ark of Osiris practice match so that we could get lots of rounds in without having to worry about ridiculous healing costs. And the very first fight against Guan Skippy, the Khan Nevsky wins. 28,800 to 24,000, okay? This is crazy because not only am I counter-typing, okay, I have infantry, he has cavalry, but also my gear is insane on my infantry. Like, it's straight crazy. And the Guan silences should be extremely powerful against Nevsky, but it didn't matter. Despite the fact that Khan and Nevsky together want to be firing their skills very frequently, the silence wasn't good enough to offset the difference until the second round. And in the second round, my silence is just perfectly timed with when his skills would have fired off, and I got maximum duration on multiple silences. There I did 28,200 sevs to me to 37,000 sevs to him. So in this instance, I really countered, and I thought we might see that again, but no. We went back to the first test result, 28,900 to 20,000, and then again, 28,000 to 20,500. So you'd expect Khan with Nevsky to do really great single target, and it does, winning 3 out of 4 fights against the best infantry equipment in the game, hands down. So from here, we tried the cavalry combo. Now, I do have a cavalry special unit, which is relevant. I'm Germany. Saz also has a cavalry special unit, so that sort of evened things up a little bit, but still I lost 28,000 to 22,000. Now, some of this could be the crits and the iconics on the accessories. From there, 27,000 to 22,000. From there, 25,000 to 26,800. I get 1 win, okay, using my Nevsky and Joan. Significant again, in part because I have no crits and no iconics on the accessories. And then I lose 27,500 to 21,800. So 3 out of 4 again for the Khan with Nevsky. Now, does this mean that Khan Nevsky is better than Nevsky Joan? No, of course not. Joan does powerful effects that buff nearby marches. You want that. But Khan is doing seriously, which is much better than I thought, okay? I don't even have the words. It's like so much better than I thought he was going to do. From here, we brought out the archers, and now I'm really getting dunked. 30,500 to 19,500 is a brutal outcome for the Boudica Esong. Then again, 31,000 to 17,000. Then again, 30,500 to 16,000. Then again, 31,600 to 15,400. So the thing you want to do if you're going to run your cavalry like this with Khan is chase down archers. And it makes sense. In the talents, you get 9% extra damage against archers. Of course you want to hunt archers. And it works so well. So a cavalry-focused player like Saz, who's going to use commanders like Khan in order to get their 7 cav marches up and running, should focus the archers because, as it turns out, the extra damage is very serious and very felt. So I would give Khan a big thumbs up for viability with Nevsky, but is Khan viable with other commanders as well? To learn that, we did a bunch of testing with other random combos. We started with the Khan with Mehmed, and we realized, wait a minute, 230,000 troops is the wrong number to bring. Remember, Mehmed does give you extra troop capacity, so to test without the troop capacity is an invalid result. I often get comments on videos like this where people see the different troop amounts. When a commander gives you extra troop capacity, you need to bring the extra troops to make the test valid. So we ran that one again, and 23,000 to 34,000 is a brutal outcome. More troops just meant more damage taken in this instance. So I would not give the Khan Mehmed a thumbs up, even though I thought that combo would work really well. From there, we ran Khan Caesar. And by the way, that was a double relic on the Mehmed. And in this case, we have a single relic on the Caesar. Okay? Single relic on the Caesar, 19,000 to 33,600. I was surprised this did not work, but let me tell you, this did not work. From there, 21,500 to 29,000 against the Khan Minamoto. I really thought Minamoto was going to work. This is a double relic Minamoto. It did not work. From there, we tested against Khan XY. People said they wanted to see it, and I was like, okay, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to work, but let's go. There's rage requirement reduction on XY, so maybe you just pop off. Not the case. 18,000 to 30,600 is a bad outcome. From there, we tested Khan with Relic Saladin. And Khan Saladin did okay, but not great. 21,000 to 29,000. From there, we tested Khan Double Relic CC. This could have been interesting, but wasn't good. 22,000 to 30,500. From there, what about Khan Burt? Remember, Saz has every single cavalry commander. If we wanted to test it, we could do it. And so we did. 21,000 to 34,500 is yet again a bad outcome. So you're seeing, wait a minute, does this just work with Nevsky? Then we tested Khan Chandra, which I thought would be good, and it wasn't. 20,000 to 34,500 is brutal. But then Khan Honda also failed. 20,000, almost 21,000 to 32,000. Brutal, man. So finally, we land on Khan William, and here things got interesting. You see, William does a number of things that are really, really powerful. First of all, on the active skill, it's easy to forget that he is going to make it so that you remove the skill damage buffs from your enemy. Where's the active skill? Here it is, right? So the extra skill damage from buffs cannot take effect. Okay, this is a very critical debuff. Very, very critical debuff. Plus, he hits in a rectangle. And if he hits multiple targets, he's going to buff nearby marches with rage and defense. So pairing with Khan, who has a rage requirement reduction, in order to keep a high uptime on that skill damage removal, and also the possibility of like buffing with defense and rage to your nearby allies is really big. So I think Khan William gets the thumbs up, the seal of approval for viability. Then we tested Khan Joan, and I just wanted to prove that this is as bad as I've been saying it is. Allow me to explain. As I said earlier in the video, there's always a second of downtime after an active skill, okay? This is important because both Khan and Joan give free active skills. So in a worst case, what would normally be your sort of best case is you get triggers from both their active skills. What happens is you now have slowed down your active skill cycle. Let me explain. Khan uses his active skill, second of downtime. Expertise free skill triggers, second of downtime. Joan uses her active skill, second of downtime. Joan uses her free attack, second of downtime. The earliest you could get another active skill is after a total of 9 seconds. That's a 9-second skill cycle just about, which sucks. That's not good. You don't want to have all these free active skills slowing you down. And I say it's slowing you down because normally you might get a 7-second skill cycle or a 6-second skill cycle, and you could go through your rotation really, really fast. So the reason you don't want to pair with Joan and you would want to use like Nevsky is that what happens is you have Khan uses active skill, second of downtime, free skill, second of downtime, Nevsky, second of downtime, and then on turn 7, you could have your active skill on Khan all over again. Okay, that's why I really like not using Joan, and that panned out in the test results, which I wanted to show you, and I also wanted to explain, because this is, funny enough, the most requested combo, and I think people don't quite understand how those free active skills work with the second of downtime every time you use an active skill. And this is something, by the way, if you ever want to look in the battle log, it's now very easy to see. You can see the enemy had an active skill, 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 the enemy had an active skill. It's cool looking that for 6 turns, every other turn, they were using an active skill, but it's actually potentially slowing you down from your sort of max velocity of active skills. Anyways, it didn't work. Test results showed that. So where does this leave us with Khan? And what combos do you use? All right. I think that the Khan Nevsky gets the thumbs up, seal of approval. But don't you have so many good places to put Nevsky? Right? Like, okay, sure, it gets the thumbs up, but like anybody's good with Nevsky. So I want to say, yeah, that's good, but I don't know that I'd recommend it. But what I did think was good enough to recommend was the William. And that to me seems like the thing to do. If you're going to Relic Khan, then I think you want to pair with William so that you get extra activations of the defense and also the rage gen or faster activations. And like, even if you don't hit multiple targets, the fact that Khan has a rage reduction plus you generate extra rage, a lot of it. Remember, Khan generates 25 rage per turn when he's low, and now you're getting the 50 rage per second over here for 3 seconds. Unfortunately, you only get the rage portion of this ability when you hit multiple targets. So the defense you'll get even if you hit one thing, but you'll need to hit multiple things with your active skill in order to get the extra rage. But still, I thought that was pretty cool. Chance you're going to overrage a little bit because you have so many ways you're generating rage with the talents and also the skills over here. Plus, presumably, you might have Trajan running around. But I think the Khan-William pairing is certainly interesting enough that I would say, all right, if you're moving all in on Cavs, you could do it. But should you do it? And I still feel like, as of right now, this opens up Khan as like, okay, it wouldn't be so bad to invest in him in the early game. If you did, you could find a way to use him in the late game. But I still wouldn't put Khan as a recommended commander in KVK Seasons 2 and beyond. Or maybe you get him in Season 1, but I don't think so. I think it's just Season 2. And the problem is that I don't think he was good enough to say, like, yeah, you should do that. It's not good enough like Esong is, where with a double relic, he's really kind of insane and he's meta, right? Khan doesn't become meta with a relic. He becomes relevant with the relic. And that's not quite enough to shift my recommendation for the early game. So unlike, again, how powerful Esong is and Alexander the Great are, where I would say they are either meta or awfully close to it, if for some reason you wouldn't include them, Khan does not jump up that much. Relevant, but not meta. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, throw a like on here and consider subscribing. I have more testing to do for these relic commanders, and I plan to show you every single one of them, including perhaps Hannibal Barca, who, honestly, the reports with him will perhaps make you blush. So subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see the live stream where we did all this testing, card will be in the end screen for that.